Hey guys, welcome to the next video in the Return to Liverpool on Football Manager 2013, and this is the state of the league then as of February 2032. We have a game in hand over second placed Brighton. Yes, they certainly have shown great bounce back ability. Get in, I've been waiting to use that word for so long. In third place we have Chelsea, fourth City, fifth Arsenal, who have again made a somewhat decent return. West Brom and Manchester United sort of make up that top seven there. So yeah, it's sort of been changed again. Like it's sort of, I mean, okay, yeah, we see Man United with a couple of games in hand on everyone else as well. So too Tottenham. But again, the sort of league is kind of sort of all scattered all over the place, and it's all, yeah, it still needs sort of evening out a bit. You know, there's still like a few creases, if you will. And but we maintain our lead. You know, if you just look at us for a second, then you know we do have that lead over Brighton, and I think we are slowly maybe pulling away from the likes of Chelsea, the likes of Man City, and so on. Since you know, I mean, we have that 10-point lead over City and Arsenal. Obviously, Man United with could potentially cut that, but again, it really wouldn't be much to really get up there with Brighton. And obviously, if we win this game in hand, then we will be 6 points clear. So. Big ask for them. But let's have a look at our transfers first. Now, I'm not going to be, going over too many transfers nowadays. Mainly because a lot of the sort of goings out are going to be loans for youngsters. But I'm slowly getting rid of the crap again. I don't really. The players basically, all I'm trying to say is the players I'm going to be bringing in are going to be youngsters signed on youth contracts, or I'm paying extortionate fees for. For talents that really don't command that whatsoever, because I'm stupid. Anyway, yeah, so we got players that we've got rid of then, so let's go over the big signings. I can't arrange them by fee, never mind. We'll go on. Anthony Vankovic, he's gone to Fiorentina. The fans weren't too happy about this, but he was interesting because he was a player who couldn't really, again, I couldn't really find a place for in the team. But the problem was I think he rated himself too highly. He wasn't actually all that great. Like he was a good player, but he was error prone, and he would occasionally pop up, and he'd only make one mistake every sort of few months. But that mistake would cost you the game. You know what I mean? It was like that's what Jerzy Dudek would do in goal when he played. He was generally a decent goalkeeper, but he would cock up once or twice, and then cock ups would lose you 3 points. It's silly. The next one was Jonavia. Somehow managed to get 5 million for this loser from Lincoln. I managed to pay £3.2 million for him from Tottenham, and I got suckered into buying him, and he was absolutely awful. I know that doesn't really demonstrate awful. That actually looks okay. But overall, his performances generally weren't all that amazing. To be brutally honest, he really did lack genuine quality, and that's what I kind of want. And I managed to get £1 million or something as extra back of that on off the back of Norwich there when they took him on loan. And Lincoln bizarrely paid in the Championship paid £5 million for him, and obviously he's more at his level there, I suppose. He's getting a fair amount of goals now. So yeah, fair enough to him. I think I made a profit on him. I think. Now Roberto Rubio, don't want to let him go. Personally, I really did not want to let him go, but he's now gone to Feyenoord. Again, was not really sort of finding a place for him in the team. Now, what I'm going to say is I'm going to go over a few things here, and this will, again, I'm probably going to repeat myself in the next video when I talk about it, but I think there is still a massive problem with player personalities and player sort of traits on this game. This is no criticism, this is just my opinion of how I think the sort of personality system should work. Now, players on this are absolute gobshites. Players in real life are absolute gobshites, but not all of them are gobshites. Now, virtually every player on this is an absolute prick, to put it bluntly. I mean, it's just simple things like when you go to, obviously I've not done it on this because it's FMC and it's stripped out, but when you go to talk to a player, for example, majority of the time they'll just come back with, "What do you want?" Now, I'm sorry, if I'm a manager or somewhere and a person says, "What do you want?" to me in a very stern, assertive tone, I tell him to get the fuck out of my office, come back, do it again in the right fucking tone. Not cower down and go, well, I think your performance has been very good. Yeah, I would not praise him after that. I would be extremely annoyed with him. I know I come across as a bit of a grumpy sod sometimes, but that is honestly what I would do. And players treat you like absolute arse on this. They really are knobs, and I don't like them at all. I really, and you know, I understand there are going to be players who do that. Don't get me wrong. There are going to be players who are going to be a dick all the time, but every player virtually does it, and I don't like it. And in my opinion, and this leads me on to like Rubio. What happens is they are set to rotational backup, and they still feel that they don't have enough games. Players get slightly concerned that they aren't getting first team football. Now, obviously, backup players, I still think, you know, although they should get a certain amount of first team football, I think they still command too much for what they are. Roberto Rubio's in rotation, he was getting plenty of football, but for some reason he wasn't happy, and I tried to give him first team football, he still wasn't happy with it, and he left. It's as simple as that. But the problem is, what I'm trying to, and this brings me on to the point now I'm trying to make, players want first team football, and then you try to give it to them, but the point is, they won't let you give them first team football. The window of opportunity to give a player first team football is so small on this game that I just don't know what to do. I literally, it wasn't Rubio, but it's another player, and I think it may be in the future, not, you know, it's further on into the season, because I say I've already played ahead. But I had a player who wanted first team football, so I'd give you it, played one game, started them, there was then an international break. I then got a message from Philippe Cocu, who is my assistant manager, in case you're wondering. Yes, Cocu. I'll go over my staff actually after this in a minute. And I got a message off him saying he's had a word with him, and he said he's still unhappy about it. I'm like, mate, we've played one game. I've given you one. You've had one opportunity to play and as a start, and you've started it. Now let me give you the opportunity. And then I started him again, and he still wasn't happy, and he handed in a transfer request. I don't know what to do. I genuinely didn't know what to do. I gave him what I could in the short space of time that he let me give him the opportunity. But no, that wasn't enough. And I still think, personally, player traits and general player attitude is fucking pathetic. And I'd love to see just an overhaul of personalities. You know, okay, I understand there aren't going to be Balotellis, there are going to be Bartons, there are going to be Keanes. You know, there are going to be these types of players who are very feisty, very aggressive, very, you know, sort of not from the status quo, shall we say. But at the same time, I think people, the game talks about how he wants to make them human beings. These aren't fucking human beings. These are pricks, absolute pricks. Hate them all. So if you've had time to scan your eyes down here, sent a few more players. Bill Rogers is rubbish, so he went to Lincoln. They bought him as well. Okay, trying to buy my team. And Leo Camarota, again, he was another one. Would not give me a chance. Simply would not give me a chance of giving him first team football. So 12 million for Bayern Munich. I didn't think that was too bad. Actually, how much did we buy him for? We made a profit on him after 3 years of good service. Fair enough. And the rest, and then we also sold Alvaro Benito, who was again another player. Would not give him a well. He was a bit different actually. I did give him a chance, gave him a couple of games, and he was shite. And then he still had the audacity to say, "I still haven't had enough first team football." And I said, "You know what? You're crap. Get out." He was honestly no. I said to him, "Look, I mean, I made a decent profit on him as well. I mean, I bought him for 1.8 million, sold him for nearly 7. Not bad." So yeah, that was that's just my little take on that type of thing, and it really kind of gets me shut up sometimes. It really annoys me. So the staff then, obviously there's no John Henry anymore, since he'd probably be about 100 at this point. So Steve Watson is the chairman now, who bought FSG out. So I'll go with the assistant manager first. Is Philippe Cocu, who was also the assistant manager to Holland. I didn't know this at the time. He's a good assistant manager actually. I just sort of went for him because of his reputation and his name. Not to mention his man management tactical is pretty decent as well. I mean, you're not going to get, you know, dark green all over the board. You know, I'm fully aware of that. But I thought, why not? You know, Cocky, good reputation. Head of youth development now is Seydou Doumbia, believe it or not. Very good little player, of course, we all know, or has the potential to be. And I went with him due to His judging player ability is 20 now. It is quite rare. I mean, I know that. Now, don't get me wrong, they exist, but you're not going to find too many people with judging player ability 20, potential 20. I mean, I'm not saying they don't exist, because they do, but they are quite rare. Or at least for me, I found them to be. His adaptability is good anyway. Working with youngsters 14, pretty decent. So obviously, I mean, I'm not absolutely aware what the best attributes are for each one, but I thought Dumbia would be good. He's young as well, so don't have to keep replacing them and swapping them out every few years when youngsters are a bit older or whatever. Rob Price is still the physio, doesn't matter really. Chief Scout brought in Craig Parker, who this is a good one. He's currently he's currently a player actually at where is he? Chelmsford, I think. But he's actually a good little scout. If I just show you again his stats here, always just go with these. Judging player ability 17, potential 20. That's kind of what I want really. Everything else doesn't really matter. He's not going to be working with the youngsters, so it didn't matter. All I want is just these two, and that's two dark green. They'll do, and he's 44 as well, so he can only improve. And lastly, the director of football is a guy called Tom Vernon. This is really good. This again, judging player ability 19, potential 19, working with youngsters 15, man management 15. This is really good. This because he was, believe it or not, a scout at Man United from 2006 to 2010. He's now at the RTD Academy. What the hell is the RTD Academy? It is the Right to Dream. Sorry, the. Sorry, actually, I shouldn't laugh. The Right to Dream Academy in Ghana. Don't know why I'm laughing, but I don't know. I think it's just a silly name. I don't think it's actually a team. I think it's an academy that he heads it or something. But yeah, he looks actually quite good. So I brought him in as a director of football. I didn't have one, so I thought, okay, I'm having it. So I think that's that is that. Let's go over the old fixtures then and see how we're doing. So we started with a Community Shield game, which I skipped, which was 6-0 against Wigan. Yes, they won the FA Cup, believe it or not. I don't know how, but they did. Well, it was a crap final, as we all know. I told you last time, didn't I? I think it was Wigan versus West Ham. Hardly the most, irony, really. I mean, I don't know when this video's going out, but I assume it will be before the FA Cup final. And I wonder if that was a sign. It's telling me something after last year. I put money on Liverpool. Honestly, I had such a crap time last year. I put money on Bayern Munich to win in the Champions League. I put money on Liverpool to win the FA Cup. Nothing. Absolutely rubbish. But yeah, we got a good thrashing here of Wigan, which was 6-0. Goals from Junior, who I will rename. Actually, I'm going to be renaming soon to Chris, because that's his name. And Junior just makes him sound Brazilian, which he isn't. Kostrov and Lopez and Wallace. We started, very strangely enough, with Chelsea. It's a repeat of the Champions League final, so the last game of last season is the first game of this season. But we won handsomely in the end, 4-2. I don't know why we couldn't do this in the Champions League, but hey, there you go. Barry well, not at Anfield, that's why. Lopez, Wallace and Kostrov. Lopez starting very strongly this season again. My son Junior having a very good game. 2-0 against West Ham. Barry Wallace and Yaya Toure with the goals. 4-2 against Swansea. Here's the absolute prime example of who really got my back up. Matooni. Absolutely gave me no chance. Absolutely no chance with this guy. I think although it may have been because he just his patience had been very restricted. I mean, his form is absolutely dreadful. I mean, I know he's only joined them, but his form's poor down there. He came up the bench, as you saw there, and scored 2 good goals. Now, I gave him the opportunity and said, look, I'm going to give you a game. I'm going to give you a couple of games. I'm going to give you a run. And he said, fine. First game, scored 2 goals. I thought, oh, here we go, that's good. And then right after that, he handed in a transfer request. I had no chance. I didn't know what to do. I had absolutely no chance with this guy, so fuck him. And who else scored? Good Eve scoring, who is now becoming a bit of a regular. So you know what I didn't do? I totally didn't go over the transfers. I'm so sorry. I never went over the players I've brought in. I just realised. Right, Isaac Buffo. This is a guy from Charlton. He's paid, how much was it? 16.5 million for him. Winger, left side. Ghanaian. Good little player. So then we have these youngsters. These are all the rest of these are youngsters we have. Jose Gabriel from Real Madrid centre-back, bought in all for 1.5 million. Obviously, that was as a tribunal, I think that's called. Silvano Russo, striker, and also attacking left and right. Mariano Latini, 4.5 star, good little player from AC Milan. And lastly, Dario Martinez, 5-star potential, AMC and MC. Very excited by this chap. Spaniards playing for Montpellier. So yes, there you go. So that's just to point out about Isaac Buffo there, who, as you can see, where are we? Was it Swansea? No, sorry, it was Brighton. That's what I'm talking about. Right, sorry. Buffo playing there. I think that was his first game. El Lopez scored 2 past Brighton at the Amex to give us a nice victory. No, I didn't slide Duffy off last time, but this guy's actually a really good player. I went, hang on, why have they spent £10 million on a player from Rangers? Well, he's actually a good little player, this Duffy, and I'll show you his goal now, along with Lopez. We actually came back, as you can see, from 1-0 down, and did very well in the end. It was a really good game, this, especially, you know, at the time I didn't know that Brighton were going to... I mean, he made a good start, Brighton, but I just thought they were going to fade away soon, but they didn't. And they kept going and going and going, and who knows, they might get in the Champions League soon. For the first time in God knows how long, of course, when Mac won it in 2027 after I left. But pretty poor defending, in fairness. Goalkeeper could have done a little bit better, I think, as well. But a very nice finish from Duffy, and okay, he got his first goal of the season, but he's a handy little player, is that Duffy, apparently. But right from the kickoff, we have the highlight, which is always interesting. I just sort of love it when it goes straight from the highlights, as if to say, you know, it's like, okay, the players are angry now. They've actually decided to start playing. Barry Wallace has still got it. He's getting older now all the time, obviously. But what the hell? But yeah, he's getting on, but he's still got it, doing very well. Slightly lucky ball across. Oh dear. So I've got that's Twitter, so I can't do that. I thought that was a tweetbot, but never mind. That's doesn't matter anyway. So I've attached Twitter to my computer. Sorry, so I can't see that. But Lopez just flying in again. Can't help it if it does that. Actually, what I'll do is that no, never mind. I'll change it up, but never mind. Sorry, I'm not even concentrating on the game anymore. I'm trying to customize my computer. Let's stop doing that. Let's go back to it, and let's. So that's a nice victory from Lopez, 87th minute. Champions League then. This is the group stage. 5 wins and 1 loss. Dominic Kemp scoring a hat-trick against Bayer Leverkusen. Lopez and Velioglu scoring the other 2. Fortunately, did lose though to Benfica, as you can see, who very nearly pipped us to the top there, but eventually we did enough. Ferrer did get us a consolation at the end, but they were just too good for us in the end. They wanted a little bit more, and we were a little bit slow in this game, so that was never good. Look at that, 5-4. Wow, didn't even notice that at the time. And then another high-scoring game, 7-0. Dominic Goodeve got a hat-trick as we put 7 past Galatasaray. Velioglu scoring again, Helen Godoy also scoring, Owen Waterhouse, a youngster I've got coming through, and Albert Kostrov. 3-2, a real good game in Turkey though against Galatasaray. Calagito, Alvaro Benito scoring there, and Barry Wallace scoring the winner in the end. 5-0 against Leverkusen. Jose Gabriel, his first game, this was his debut. He scored 2. This was a very young team. Let's see, we've got, well, it was mostly young, and I've put Pepe Hernandez obviously in as a bit of added steel at the back. I mean, you know, you'd have to be completely mental to just have, you know, your youth team in the Champions League. But yeah, Jose Gabriel, that was 36 minutes into his Liverpool career, got the goal in his debut. Not a bad way to introduce himself, is it? I was made up with that as well. I thought I'll give him a chance because I wanted to rest Moerman and Glukov and who else? All basically the centre backs. I was going to say a lot of yellow cards, which I was not happy about, but this ref looked to be a bit of a dick, so I just moved on with it. Owen Waterhouse looks like a good little player. He's not actually going to set the world on fire, but he is a good little option to have on the left hand side. Jose Gabriel coming in again here, as you can see. I couldn't believe it. I was actually put him up front for the last 10 minutes to try and get him a hat-trick. Imagine that. A defender getting a hat-trick. That's no less a 17-year-old defender getting a hat-trick on his debut, which was in the Champions League. Unbelievable. Bizarrely, actually, Leverkusen, I call them Dortmund then, actually had a good chunk of the ball, and then we just suddenly, the second half, just came out and blasted them. Just absolutely smashed them. And that's a wonderful free kick from Godoy. He's some player, this Godoy. Very good player. Not absolutely astonishing, but he's very, very good nevertheless. So yeah, some really high scoring games, and then 3-1. We already confirmed to qualify, but no, I was going to do this one properly and played a full strength team as we beat by Benfica 3-1. Gordon, Godoy, and Wallace with the goals. Moving on then to Arsenal, a really good game here at the Emirates, 3-2. We ended up winning. Crazy game this. Christoph, in fact, I'll show you it now. The goals just all came in the space of like 20 minutes or something. There's like, how many is that? It was like, yeah, all came in with the space for a few minutes. Junior, absolutely fantastic. He is so good with the free kicks. He's my son. In real life, if I ever do have kidneys, half as good as free kicks as this one, then I'll be made up. No, he's very good though. He's not quite David Beckham, but he's still excellent. And this was literally right after it. Christoph just replying straight away. I think cause it's just cold there, I suppose. And then there's Alvaro Benito with his with a nice header. So yeah, believe it or not, he did score. But then again, this happened. Again, really quick fire goal. Barry Wallace this time, and that is just Barry Wallace in a nutshell as far as I'm concerned. He's brutal. And no one wants to see the other goal now, do you? Of course you don't. We then played them at home this time in the Capital One Cup third round. Benito scoring again. Now you're looking at it and thinking, hang on, I thought you said he was crap. Well, I'll be honest and say he took kind of a nosedive after this. I mean, 7.7 again. He looking good here against West Brom. 6-2. This was a weird game. We've had this sort of knack this season of not playing that well, but still managing to score like 5 goals. And this really was crap mad because Wallace off the bench to score a hat trick. I've said that about 5 or 6 times. It's just amazing, really. Yeah, this Hitchin Mattoon, again, I gave him a chance, but he didn't really, bear in mind, he's scrapping for a first team place here. He's scrapping for his life at the club, and he doesn't, give his all, clearly. Obviously, I took him off, but, we do have this knack of just suddenly, well, I suppose it's Wallace in any stage, he comes off the bench, of course, you're going to find a few more goals from somewhere. We then played Man United at Anfield. Yaya Toure, Gordon and Velioglu scoring now. He's become a pretty decent player, this Velioglu. He's 22. Problem is now, as you can see, wants first team football, but he is pleased to get first team football. Again, I've just got so many players who just want first team football, and it's like, look, I am giving it to you, but they're not being reasonable. They're just not being reasonable. We then freakishly lost 1-0 to Blackburn, who are actually very good. Kostrov had a shocker. And then I made the subs too late, unfortunately. And then we got held to a draw by Crewe. I played 2 probably, slightly weaker team. Good Eve. Trusted him up front and he kind of let me down. I also played Alessandro Boccolini. I think I found out that the term is Boccolini, or that is the pronunciation, sorry, is Boccolini, 19. Good player. Good player apparently, but not a good result at home to Crewe. Crewe are one of these annoying teams who I severely underrate, and then you actually play them and they're actually okay. So yeah, that kind of showed us a bit. We though lost to Manchester United in the Capital One Cup. That was not good. We went to Old Trafford, had a good game. It was just, this was a real, I suppose what the game would describe as a ding-dong battle, and we were simply separated by this goal from Antonio, who is another, he looks to be sort of Man United star talisman at the moment. They've also got now Mirko Bastone, the traitor has switched sides. But yeah, I mean, that was simply a moment of genius that took to separate us. Unfortunately, we couldn't find our own moments of genius, so there you go. Simple as that, really. So no Capital One Cup, no quad once again. That was when this 7-0 came, and I was like, where the hell did this come from, We also got Russell and Fry in midfield again. I'm going to say this now. I may have already said it before. If not, then I'm going to say it. New Xavi and Iniesta. Richard Russell and Ryan Fry. Yeah, I'm saying it. 5-1 then against Wolves. Yeah, sorry, I've got kind of out of sync with myself there. Never mind. We actually went on a half-decent run after the Millwall game down there, but I thought this was hopefully going to be, sort of start something when we smashed 5 past Millwall. I thought we had a decent run here then. all 5 goal scorers were different. We've got Glukov, Godoy, Ruiz, Buffon got in his first, and Kostrov. 3-2 against Galatasaray, then 4 against Puspas Cardiff. Wallace with another 2, Kostrov and Kem scoring. Now we lost to Millwall, the Den. I think I can only assume the players were distracted by the fans fighting in the crowd. That's all I can honestly say for that. 6-1 against Wigan. El Lopez scored a hat-trick, as Gordon also scored along with Wallace Hernandez, and unfortunately Junior did miss a penalty. 4-1 past 4 goals past Ipswich. Wallace off the bench scoring, Hernandez, Godoy and Russell also scoring. Both again Fry and Russell performing, as you can see. 3-0 against Villa. Wallace hat-trick, standard. 5-2 against Tottenham. Wallace with 2, standard. Torre with a goal. Alega did get injured, that put him out for a while, I think. And Kostrov also off the bench with 2. Sunderland 3-0. Ruiz scoring. Goodeve also scoring, and once again Atek Velioglu. We then lost a really good game to Manchester City, unfortunately, which was not good, obviously. But we were separated again by some excellent performance from Adam Taylor here. As you can see, he scored a hat-trick. He's sort of underrated, I think, because he's actually quality, but I don't know, he's always sort of overshadowed by the likes of Dave Ryan here and Chitsafanu, or whatever the hell he's called, and Dudil, and Bishop. You know, he sort of needs to stand up, and he certainly did there, and he put 3 past us, so I'm not gonna slag him off anymore. 2-0 against Forest. Wallace and Kostrov with the goals, and then we played Cardiff in the FA Cup 3rd round. Also, congratulations for them to getting promoted. Thought they were excellent when we played them at Wembley last year. Wallace did come off the bench and save us a point. And then lost to Chelsea, so we're not really winning the big games, are we? You know, losing to United, losing to City, losing to Chelsea. Tays did get himself sent off, which was not good. Junior didn't have a particularly good game. And then John Serna, as you can see, I mean, okay, German got sent off, or German got sent off there. Paul McDonald didn't have a particularly good game, but yeah, again, we fortunately lost to Chelsea. That's not good. We then played Swansea, but bounced back very nicely with a 5-1 victory at the Liberty Stadium. Wallace and Kostrov with 2 each, and Lopez also getting his goal. We then brought Cardiff back to Anfield. Goodeve and Kemp, the 2 Dominics, striking there to give us a nice victory. And again, I played a very understrength team, and young team actually. It's not understrength, it's a young team. And let's just go over the ages very quickly. Spielmarkers is 25. That's very young for a goalkeeper. Oh, hang on. Never mind, because it keeps jumping back up here. It's not going to go back into the thing. But we've got Bastian Farbarker, who's like 21. Yep, he's 21. Gothana is like 17. Velioglu's 21. Harrison, he was like 17. Fry's 18. Seacreeves, I think, is 18. Russell's 18. And Waterhouse is 18. Goody, he was like 22, 23. Kemp's 21. So, you know, I did the average age. If you follow me on Twitter, link in the description, then I think I said the other day, I'm taking the piss now, and I managed to get the average team age down to, at one point, 17. That's just taking it to extremes. I did that in a pre-season game, I just want to point out. But I think that the average age, I think the lowest officially I've got it down to is, in like a proper game, was 19. It's pretty good. But of course, you've got to take into consideration Aston Villa. You know, you don't want to go one way and do an Aston Villa and have no experience, with the exception of perhaps Ron Vlaar and Brad Guzan, and all youth. And look what's happened to them. You know, they were. I posted a league table the other day. The Premier League in 31st December 2008, Liverpool were top, Aston Villa 4th. What's happened there? Now, if you've been looking at this, you've had time to take this one in, and you're looking at what the fucking hell happened here. I can't explain this. Daniel Dvorak, which I believe is a style of keyboard. No, really, you know, the way there's a QWERTY keyboard, you can also have a Dvorak keyboard, named after this guy, probably. Yeah, shocking. Spielmarkers had an absolute nightmare. Boccolini got tore apart, Cothana got tore apart. Didn't have Wallace on the bench. Benito's pants kind of really let me down here. Bunyak's losing it. He's really lost a lot of his. I don't know. He's sort of lost it. He's really been poor over it. He's not poor, but you know, he's not reached the high standards he once was at. Even Agita and Velioglu were poor. And this was one of those games where, like, I almost think this game really is random. It truly is just random, and these results just pop up sometimes. They just do. I can't find any other explanation other than these results just occasionally pop up. But we did eventually bounce back and score 5 of our own, this time past West Ham. Yaya Toure scoring a hat-trick this time. Lopez also chipping in. 3-1 at Anfield. Albert Kostrov scoring a hat-trick. Plenty of hat-tricks, isn't it? So, you know, we bounced back quite nicely. Kostrov was getting a hat-trick there. Then lost to West Brom. Ferrer did score, but unfortunately got himself sent off, which is not good. And then what happened here? I mean, just fuck this game, man. Just look at the times. Just look at them fucking times. I hate it so much. Anyway, due to play Manchester United next. We're going to be playing Schalke in the Champions League again. So hopefully they'll possibly provide a sterner test than last time. We're not going to make it, surely. We can't possibly make it 5 in a row finals. And if I lose that, I don't know what I'll do. God. Right, anyway, that will do it from me, I think. So thank you very much for watching. I'll just end on the amount of goals, people. So I've scored, so we've got 23 for Wallace, 13 for Kostrov, 12 for Lopez, Goodiv with 9, Kemp 8, and 6 now is from Torre. Assist-wise, Lopez with 10, Wallace with 9, Hernan Godoy with 8, and also his nice 5 goals, I suppose, and Junior also with 6, and the rest downwards. And yeah, that's going to do it from me. So thank you very much for watching. I will see you then with the season review for 2031-32.